In the last video, we set up a homepage for our Jump Club website, and we learned a little bit about Bootstrap and CSS and how that can help us make our pages look much better. In this video, we're going to add a new page, and I'm going to show you how to do that very easily, and just a little routine you can go through to get the starter pack for each new page you want to add, if you like to think of it that way. So I'm going to start by doing what we always do. I'm not going to talk you through it this time. You should be able to get there on your own without me talking you through it as I do it. Okay, I'm going to, just said I wasn't going to start, talk you through it, wasn't I? Okay. All right, well, I've started my website up here, and we can now see the page that we had at the end of the last video. I've got this. You might have something completely different. Hopefully you do. I hope you had fun working with Pug and having a go at this this homepage. But we're going to now add the events page. So we know that in our nav bar we have an events link in our nav bar, but there's no page for that at the moment, so it just doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to teach you now how to think about adding a new page. You can do this for any new page you want to add, just to get it working, and then you can add the functions that you need, etc. But first, I like to get the page working so that I can see it and that I know that it's working for the user from one end to the other. Right. So I'm going to do that by pinching or stealing the stuff that's on the index page and making that work for us as the new page, and then we'll change the new page as we go. Great. I've got to open up my app. Oh, wrong folder. Sorry. I've got to open up my app. In my apps, I'm going to open up Jump Club by putting it onto Visual Studio here like this. And I'm going to I'm going to open up the index route. I'm going to open up the index view, and I'm going to open up the app.js. Where's our app.js? Close some of this stuff down. There it is, app.js. These are the three things we're going to edit or pinch. So you remember I've just done a little sketch video for you, so you can think about how we're going to do this. We're going to I've asked you to think about it in this order. Think about, to get a new page going, think about app.js, then think about the route, then think about the view. That's the order in which the user will be directed through that path. So think about those three files and getting them going. So the very first thing to do, we're going to add the events page. We want to add the events page. So the first thing the user is going to hit is the app.js. So let's just update that first. The only things we need to do here is tell the app.js what to do when the events page is hit. So we'll just steal some stuff from here. So I'm going to steal this one, the logout router, and I'm just going to call it the events router. I just copy and pasted that, by the way. The events router, and I'm going to say when you hit the events, let's save an events router variable that says the instructions for the events page are in the events route. So I'm going to put events here, events. Great. Now remember, this isn't enough in the app.js, because we also need to say let's use that whenever we hit the page, the events page. So I'm going to copy and paste this last line and say that anytime we hit the events page, let's use what we just set up as the events router. Great. So this should be colored, not grayed, and this should be colored, not grayed up here now. There it is, so it is. So anytime the events page is hit, we're going to use this route. That's great. So we're done here. Save this and close it. Now you'll see here that we have two things. So this is the event stuff, this is the index page that the Express set up for us at the very start. Now it's very, very basic. All it does, when we hit the route, and I said let's go to the route next in our little sketch diagram, we've gone from app.js, we're going to hit the route next. Look what the route does. It just does almost nothing. It just says render this page, send them on, send them on to this. Great. So I'm going to steal this. I'm going to say select all and copy. Great. I'm going to then go to the routes file. Now we just directed from from the app.js, we just directed our user to a route called events.js, and that doesn't exist yet. So I'm going to click on the folder, then I'm going to click on a new file icon here. I'm just going to say events. So here, come on, events.js is going to be the name of my file. As soon as I hit enter on that, it'll open up, and I'm going to paste in the stuff that was in my index route. So I can just use that straight away. But this time, instead of sending it to the events, to the index view, let's say we're going to send it to the events view, and we'll just say something in here so we can recognize it. We'll just put events view in here, and just so that we can recognize it when it renders. I'm not sure we're still using the title on the next page, but we'll see. So all this doing here is all we've done now is we've set the app.js to refer to an events route called events.js, and we've set that up in our routes folder now. And so now we know when they hit the page, they're going to be redirected here, and all it's going to do is try to send them on to an events view. Great, but we don't have an events view. So let's look at our index view and see what's on there. Well, this is good. We've got again a very simple view. All it does is present this Jumbotron thing with welcome to Jump Club. I don't think we are using the event name or the event title, so we won't worry about that variable coming through. But again, all I'm going to do is select all on my index pug, copy it, Command C, and I'm going to make a new view called, I've got to open this up so we see it happening. I'm going to hit here, click on the folder, and then make a new file by clicking that icon, and I'm going to call it events.pug. Great. It's going to open as soon as I hit enter. Events.pug is what I'm now editing, and I'm going to paste in the stuff that I just stole straight out of the index.js, index.pug, sorry. So you see all my pug exists here. We know this is working on the index page. All I'm going to do is get rid of this text at the bottom, and I'm just going to put in here events and then some exclamation marks. So if we've done it all right, then I'll shut all of this stuff and open it up again and just give you a tour again. If we've done it all right, the app will hit the app.js file. App.js file is here, and we've told the app.js file, anytime you hit a page called events, use the events router. The events router should find its instructions in the events route. Great, so we should get that far. The page will then the user will be redirected, not unknowingly, through the events route, which is here, and the events route's going to say, just send them straight onto a view that's called events. Don't worry about this title, we're not using it anymore. So just send it on to events. And lastly, we set up a view that was called events.pug. And we said, when you get there, just show us a Jumbotron with the word events in it. That's it. So if we've done all of this right, we should see our website running, or web server running here still. If we've done all this right, when we hit the events button, we should just see that page. Let's try. Events. Great. So this is where you can start for doing all of your new pages. Steal some code from another thing that you know is working. So I've just stolen code from the index page just so that I know that app.js is working, the index route is, the events route is working, and the event view is working. From here, you can add functionality to your route. You can add view special stuff or components or visible components to your view. You can do all of that, but get it working first by thinking app.js, route, and view in that order.